Happy Tuesday, y'all. Did you guys like that weekend?
What's up, Joe?
Hey, man.
Yeah, what's up,
we'll
Joe?
We'll take a quarter.
We'll take a quarter. Here's a quarter. Call someone who cares. Joe says.
That's a nice Nimbus 2000 you got there.
It is. It's actually a Nimbus 2001. Get it right. But yeah, fucking awesome weekend for the birds. But before we get into the birds,
was that a Harry Potter reference?
Tuesday,
yes, oh yeah.
Yes, it was.
Nice.
I'm cultured.
I dig that, man. That's awesome. Oh, you got Mr. Roger McNubbs.
Yeah, hell yeah. Happy Tuesday, y'all. How was 4th of July weekend for you, Huckleberries?
Good, Brooksy.
Well, you guys saw me heading up to the lake. We only stayed up there for a night, but not good because I lost my my golf tournament, my family golf tournament up there for the first time in 3 or 4 years. So even though I played pretty well, I think we played pretty well in general. So
what happened? More stiff competition? More parity in the league?
No, it was one of there wasn't as many people there this year, and I don't know what happened. I don't know. Double bogey on a hole killed us really, but other than that, we played pretty well.
So, you and your dad?
No, me and Caitlin's dad, Caitlin and one of the family friends against one other group, like Caitlin's dad's brother and their side of the family. We usually don't lose. So, yeah, not happy about it. Not happy about it.
Play the same course every year?
Is this a Jason Pierre-Paul reference, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same course every year. It's the course that Caitlin's family grew up on. Caitlin's dad's side of her family grew up on. So it's kind of like their tradition in their family. And we had been running that for a while, and unfortunately, we had to give up the trophy this year. So,
was there like a barbecue at night? Was there hot dogs? How many did you eat? What was the situation at night? Did you guys do anything fun?
Yeah, barbecue, and then the night before the golf tournament, we did. They always have a bingo at the country club right there with like 800 and some people, which is a lot of fun. Wow. Just really hot, but their house is right on the lake there, like right next to the country club, so we can just walk right up to it. It's been in their family.
Sweet.
So yeah, it was all good. Banks enjoyed the lake. We came back Saturday, celebrated one of Banks's little guys and our neighbors' birthdays, and now he's sick. So now he's home from school. I had a little sick day with him yesterday, and now Caitlin's off today, so she's a man on the fort today. So,
man,
where do you watch fireworks? You watching that park right by your development?
We didn't watch the fireworks actually. They shot them off the night that we were up at the lake. Hell yeah, Laura, thank you. Shot them off when we were up at the lake on Friday, or they were supposed to. No, they shot them off at the lake on Saturday. We came back Saturday afternoon, so we didn't see those. And then everybody back here in the Indy area shot them off on Friday. So we kind of missed them all the way around. He gets bored with them anyway. He saw a couple miscellaneous ones just like shooting off here and there. So, but yeah, it was. Other than him being sick, it's good. Again, Laura, thank you so much.
Hell yeah, Laura, thank you, Laura. We appreciate you.
We appreciate the hell out of you.
A little bit counts. Thank you so much. Morning. By the way,
hopefully Florida.
Hopefully Florida's nice and sunny and not 900 degrees for you today.
I know Laura's going to get her nursing, or she might have got her nursing stuff done. So, doctor.
Brian, how was your weekend?
Worked, and then I didn't see a single firework, not one.
No, did you hear any?
Oh, I can hear them, and a lot of people in Baltimore are a little pissed off. Now I was working, so I actually went across the street to another friend's establishment who's got a nice high roof deck, just so I could maybe catch a couple like in between, because everyone went outside to look at the fireworks. So there's not much going on inside. So I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go over across the street to the Worthington, go upstairs on their roof. the fireworks were getting shot off in the distance directly behind a church, like steeple. So you could see like the spray, but you couldn't see. You can see those fireworks that come down like a willow tree or whatever. Other than that, you couldn't see shit. And
you should take a picture of that. That would have been a nice aesthetic around the church steeple.
It really would have. You're right. The St. Casimir's church steeple was dynamite. I've never stared at it so much, but people in Baltimore were pissed because I think the fireworks only lasted like 11 minutes or something.
What? Really?
Yeah, and normally it's like I don't want to sit here and tell you I'm a firework expert, but I know it's more than 20 normally on a regular basis.
Yeah,
and it wasn't bad weather.
The ones in OC were like 25 or 30 minutes long.
Yeah, you can't blame. Yeah, you're right, and you can't blame low cloud cover or anything. There was none of that. So people in Baltimore weren't the happiest.
Oh man, well I'll tell you,
bunch of cuts.
Ocean City, July 4th weekend was a complete shit show. A complete shit show.
I've seen some shit.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have seen it or whatever. I'm sure you've seen it on social media or whatever, but just a complete disaster of a weekend for Ocean City. Friday night, it was super busy. It was a normal, busy holiday night up until basically the fireworks started. And about 5 minutes into the fireworks, there was a large contingent of young kids, I would say between 16 to 20 years old, just in town for whatever reason for the weekend. And they decided to just fucking wreak havoc. It was almost like the H2OI weekend, which is like the car weekend down here where everyone just kind of just tries to burn the city down. It was a complete disaster. There were kids shooting Roman candles into the crowd on the boardwalk. There were kids putting Roman candles into trash cans and they were ricocheting all over the place. At some point during all of that commotion, somebody yelled that there was a shooter, that somebody had a gun.
Oh my God.
And there was a complete massive exodus from the boardwalk. It was a stampede of humans. They were just trying to get off the boardwalk any way they can. If somebody yelled gun, I don't blame them. There was a lot of parents with their children, obviously freaking out. There was a group of, I would say no less than 125 people just sprinting down the stairs into our restaurant, off the streets onto any exit they could do. And this is about 5 minutes into the fireworks this happened. So completely ruined, I would say, the rest of the night in Ocean City. And then there was some other unfortunate stuff that happened uptown, really all over town. There was gridlock traffic trying to exit town that night. People were jumping on top of cars and dancing on top of traffic parked cars that couldn't do anything about it. It was a complete fucking disaster. And then the next night, the next day, July 5th, which, Saturday, July 5th, you'd think it's going to be a crazy busy day. There was no one in Ocean City. Everyone left. I don't know if everyone was scared. Everyone had enough. On Friday, the beach was so packed that I went to the beach a couple hours before my bar shift, and I was set up behind the people that are renting the beach chairs and umbrellas. That's how far up. That's how many people there were on the beach. And the next day, there was maybe 2 lines of umbrellas, like literally no one on the beach, like not even a quarter of the amount of people on the beach, no one on the boardwalk. There's police literally every block, every corner you could imagine. And Saturday was just a complete dud in Ocean City. And it really sucks that a big group of idiot kids decided that they wanted to ruin a weekend for the town. But, it is what it is. I didn't work on Sunday. I'm on the 6-day-a-week schedule right now, and I worked, I think, like 70 hours last week. So Sunday, I went outside for maybe a grand total of 5 minutes. I didn't do anything. So yeah, it was a weird weekend in Ocean City. We didn't love it, but anyway.
And unfortunately, I'm not going to go political. I don't want to get political. I don't want to go into societal stuff. But it just seems like this is becoming more and more and more common. It just seems like make as much fucking ruckus as you possibly can because you need attention. Because everyone talks with their thumbs now, doesn't know how to interact with people socially in person. So let's just be a bunch of fucking twat waffles, set a bunch of shit on fire ablaze, and then get the fuck out of there, and then go run to mommy and daddy and use their gas card.
Yeah,
so that's what it really. It just sucks.
And scare a bunch of families that brought their kids down to watch the fireworks. And I know that there were kids that got separated from their parents at some points. I know, as far as I know, the police were able to sort everything out and the kids were able to were returned to their parents. But complete disaster. It ruined a lot of businesses' weekends. And it really sucks. So yeah, I'm going to try to skew away from the negative, and we're going to try to skew away from the negative, honestly, moving forward on this podcast as much as we can.
This is a great segue.
This is a great segue to talk about. Yeah.
This is a great segue because I know we like to talk about shows. All right. I've been watching this Trainwreck series on Netflix.
Oh, did you watch the Poop Cruise one yet?
I watched the Poop Cruise one. I watched that yesterday.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's awesome. It is awesome. I mean, all this is public knowledge now because it's happened in 2012 or 2013, I think, where that cruise that got disabled in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. And when they get that tugboat,
their sewage failed. And basically everyone on the cruise was within in 3 feet of sewage for like
everything
days.
Failed. All the electricity went out. So they started serving there's food shortages. But when the tugboat gets there to pull them to Mobile, Alabama, now they're on this boat for 3 additional days when the tugboat gets there. They've already been without power for 2. The tugboat pulls and the boat actually tilts, and that's where the sewage started coming all over people.
Yeah,
Jesus.
CNN is flying a helicopter over top of the boat, and there are people on the deck. They're using their bodies to spell out help. It's so bad.
Oh my God. Yeah, I haven't checked that show out, but I've actually gotten it recommended to me by a couple of different people at this point. And now you're saying it, I gotta watch it.
The amount of the crew apparently does a phenomenal fucking job, and even the people that when the passengers get back to shore, and I'm not ruining any of this for you, Dusty. I mean, it's all been seen before, but when they get back to shore, like the passengers talk so highly of the crew. Like, absolutely, they made one massive mistake. They thought, all right, these people are having such a shitty time. Let's just open up the bar and give out drinks.
Yeah, Brooks says literally shitty mistake.
All of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. There are people having sex everywhere in front of family.
Oh my God. Well, they thought there was no rules, I bet.
Yeah, but the train wreck I wanted to bring up it has to do with like what we were just talking about on the boardwalk. It's called The Real Project X. Now, do you remember that movie, Project X?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Really?
Okay. The Real Project X is it's a kid. The movie is I think it's Paramount Pictures. The kid throws a house party and just spirals out of control where everyone starts showing up. They actually set his parents on fire.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So this young girl named Murphy her name's Murphy. She's in they're in Denmark or something like that. She's having her 16th birthday party, and she posts it to Facebook. Now, this is when Facebook's kind of in its infancy, like right when the app came out and everything for Facebook. And 16 is a drinking age in this country. So she sets her 16th birthday party, and she sets it to public instead of private. And so one guy, I thought it'd be funny for him to then send it out to 500 of his friends. Then it went to another 500 people. And then all right, it spiraled. Within the next day of school, she had 17,000 people coming to her 16th birthday party in this small town in the Netherlands. That has 18,000 people. And then
so everyone's going.
Everyone goes. And then she deletes it. She tells her parents. She at least tells her parents this is going to occur. And so some guy thought it'd be funny to just copy and paste what she had and then make another one called Project X, like Heron or whatever. I think that the town's called Heron. And that one got over 300,000 people. And all of a sudden, 35 to 40,000, it spiraled completely out of control. People are breaking shit all over the place. Riots are breaking out. It's insanity. It's fucking hysterical. This girl, Murphy, she actually had to evacuate the town the day of her birthday.
Sure. Yeah. It's hilarious, but it's also scary. The amount of just a crowd can just do, the amount of damage that the crowd can just do if they just have this goal.
That kind of sounds like what I saw, what was happening in Ocean City on 33rd Street. Apparently, somebody was throwing like a party on 33rd Street, and then they ended up taking over the whole street of 33rd Street and the McDonald's right there, and like people couldn't move. Like that's nuts.
Yeah, I saw there were women with no clothes on twerking in the middle of Coastal Highway out front of Jolly
Shocking.
Rogers. It was just not a good weekend in Ocean City in general. So I would consider this place a very, very safe place, especially considering I bartended in Baltimore for a couple of years. I never feel any bit uncomfortable when I'm closing bars here and leaving bars. Almost always, but there's a couple weekends a year where this kind of shit happens, and it just sucks. And you don't really know when it's coming. But anyway, Nick Boat says if I had a nickel for every real life Project X parties I attended that were just 15 people in a keg. Yeah, I've definitely had some experiences with people hyping up college parties, and there was just a bunch of dudes sitting around a keg.
This party had like 30,000 people. People were coming. People were getting on buses and trains to come from around the country to this small town. And the mayor of the town like neglected all the warning signs. He was actually forced to resign a couple months later because his idea for security was to have like 250 police officers be there. Well, they were outnumbered by about 25,000 people. So good luck and they weren't wearing riot gear. They were wearing yellow vests.
What are you gonna do?
They were like, "Oh, we'll just block off the street near your house." And these kids were hell bent to get toward where the house was. So people were like jumping over their fence to like take pictures of the house like weeks in advance because they wanted to see Murphy. Like, this is crazy.
That's weird.
Yeah, super weird. But anyway, we'll move on from the weird, crazy stories, and we can talk about some sports. We can talk about them O's. About that weekend, guys.
What happened?
Up on the road. Did we get some pitching performances? Did we get some did the bats get hot a little bit? Did we get a Jacob Stallings 2-run double that sealed the deal for us? What happened this weekend, guys?
I think so. I think that did happen.
Yeah.
I mean, we also got Jordan Westburg coming back and hitting some dong shots. Mm-hmm. Hitting an absolute nuke, by the way.
Yeah.
An absolute nuke to center field.
Yeah, after who had an absolute
O'Neill. Tyler O'Neill.
And then the next inning, Westburg hits it 465 straight to center.
Tyler O'Neill comes off the IL, and second game back, he's hitting again. It's interesting because, I mean, I think all Orioles fans have been a little disappointed with that signing so far, obviously. But he was, like, talking about, like, there's been, like, stacks of inflammation in his shoulder and neck and stuff like that to where like he was like having trouble playing multiple days in a row after swinging. Like that sounded bad. I've never really heard of anything like that. So hopefully he's through that and we get the Tyler O'Neill we thought we were getting. But yeah, that sounded miserable the way that the broadcast was describing that. But yeah. Yeah, it's amazing when people are starting to get a little healthier. And fucking Stallings, baby.
Stall ball, baby.
Yeah,
I love it.
Stall ball. I like that.
Remember Kevin Stallings at Pittsburgh when they were terrible? The Pittsburgh basketball coach, we called it
Stallings. By the way, that's a second Kevin Stallings reference in 2 weeks. That's his dad. That's actually his dad.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Really?
Jacob Stallings' dad is Kevin Stallings?
Mm-hmm.
There's no
wow.
Or there's a Stallings in the major leagues. I heard Kevin Stallings' name referenced when the guy was batting.
Huh.
And I want to say it's got to be, unless there's another Stallings in the bigs.
Interesting.
Look at Kevin Stallings' son and see who it is.
Anyway,
and the other piece of news is that, I mean, why is he here right now? Because Gary Sanchez has now gone down. On the IL, 10-day IL, I think, right? With they've just said his knee. They haven't really said anything else. I'm assuming that MRIs have been negative.
So we are officially on our 6th catcher, I believe. 4 of them are currently on the IL. So yeah, I mean, really amazing that we were able to sweep one of the best teams in baseball on the road with, a very limited crew, I would say, to say the least. But yeah, great weekend for the team.
He's got a moderate PCL sprain in his right knee.
Yep. Jacob Stallings is Kevin Stallings' son.
I just looked it up. I cannot believe that. I just randomly referenced Kevin Stallings, and they just happen to be related. That's crazy. That guy was not a good basketball coach. But anyway, we'll move forward. The O's are back. Are they? They're still 40-49. Hey, look, we're going to be hesitantly optimistic here. Don't put all your eggs in the basket yet. But yeah, it was a really good weekend. I have a very big smile on my face. I'm wearing an Orioles t-shirt and I'm not ashamed of it. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about the way the Orioles played ball this weekend. It looked like we had a lot more energy. And how about Jackson Holliday's 4 for 4 on Sunday as well? Looked like he was very comfortable at the dish, spraying the ball all over the yard. And I really like to see that. Against what was the guy's name that pitched for Atlanta on the last day that you guys love, the Kenny Powers guy? Holmes, is that his name?
Grant Holmes.
Grant Holmes, yeah. We had a Myrtle Beach Merman reference on the broadcast, by the way.
Because he's from Myrtle Beach.
I know.
That's amazing.
I love that Ben McDonald was on the Roku call, by the way. I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
That was cool. What did you guys think about the Roku Sunday games, the 11:30 a.m. Sunday games that we've been a part of a couple of them in the past month? Do you not like them? Do you like them? What do you think?
I don't like them. The Apple TV ones I can get behind a little bit because there's no, at least the way that we have it set up at the couple establishments that I've run, they're in lockstep. There's no delay between the two. The Roku one is really bad. Like one will be 2 pitches ahead. Well, and that drives me insane. It drives customers insane.
Yeah,
it drives people in general insane.
Yeah, that's like when you go to the bar and there's one TV on Red Zone and one TV on the actual game you're watching, and then the TV on Red Zone's a little bit ahead, and so you see the play and there's like, oh shit, all right, well Ed Reed's going to run this one back to the house. We already know. That's a little bit of an annoying thing.
I can't commentate, or I can't make any comments on like the commentators for Roku or.
It was Ben McDonald and some other guy.
Well, yeah, but it's just I don't have the volume on, but I'm just going off like the actual view, like the viewing with no volume is not very good. Chaucer, they have those digital boards. There's like very narrow digital boards that put like advertisements up, stuff like that. You can put your specials on it. Those are the only 2 TVs that could get Roku on, and the game was sideways, so you had to like turn your head like this to watch the game.
Hey, at least they had it on. They did their best. You got to work with what you got.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about them yet. It's just so early. It just feels so early. But
I like the idea of getting a game in the national spotlight a little bit earlier, just so it's the only game on. But I agree with you, Brian. It is really frustrating, like the Apple TV games and the Roku games, and just all the streaming in general. And this is with sports in general. It's not just baseball. The NFL is you're going to need like 8 different subscriptions to watch the NFL in its entirety next season. So they're as big a culprit as anybody with this, but it just sucks working at a bar that we don't have the capabilities to get those games. And so people are coming in wanting to watch the Oriole game. I have, multiple different couples come in, they say they want to watch the Oriole game and I can't turn it on and they leave, and it hurts business. It sucks. But, the reason they're coming to the bar in the first place is because they probably can't get it at their house. So, I guess it's a double-edged sword there. I don't really know. Once again, I like the fact that they're spotlighting a couple teams early and getting them out. And I like that it's on the MLB app too, and it's free. So if you have the MLB app, you can just watch it. But I know it's a pain trying to cast those to TVs and stuff like that. It sucks when they lose, but it's awesome when they win. Yeah, that's true, Merrick. That's good commentary there.
Yeah. And going back to this road trip, the Braves feel like they're the National League version of the Orioles.
Yeah. They're kind of treading water, right?
Yeah, they got all the injury issues as well and not performing the way that they would have hoped.
They got a worse record than we do.
Well, now after this series, yeah, but we're lockstep with them basically.
Their run differential's +4 and ours is -82. Somehow we have a better record than them.
That is kind of odd.
It's really weird.
Well, when
But,
you lose by 30 runs, usually doesn't help your run differential.
Yeah. But and also, don't look now. We're at our last 40 games. We're 24-16. So
yeah, they showed it. They showed it on the broadcast since Mansolino took over. We're I think like 5 games above 500. And obviously, Ben McDonald said this on the broadcast too. Obviously, it's not just a direct result of Brandon Hyde getting fired. It wasn't all his fault, but obviously something needed to change. Some sort of flip needed to switch, and I think we're seeing that with the Orioles, especially with the fact that we've had all of these injuries. And I was listening to, I think it was Talking Baseball, and they were talking about, look, if you look at the rotation and what it's supposed to be, I mean, Bradish, Grayson, Eflin, Sugano, Kramer, Povich, it's not a bad rotation on paper if they could stay healthy, but obviously that's not been the case this year, and that's why it's been so frustrating. 7.5 games back at the beginning of June. We are 7 back now. The wild card race is stupid crowded. Yeah, that's 100% true. But you also have teams like the Guardians who had an L10 in the last 10 column. And Jose Ramirez has been struggling. I don't know if that's directly related or what is going on in Cleveland. I really have no idea. I also saw that Paul Skeens, just a quick aside, just so I can say it before I forget it. I saw Paul Skeens in his last 13 starts has a 1.72 and only has 1 win. I can't fucking imagine how mad that guy is every time he takes the ball.
I mean, it's DeGrom. It's DeGrom. It's DeGrom all over again.
It really is.
So bad. It's so bad. They can't score runs. They got swept over the weekend and didn't score a single run.
No way.
Really brutal. Yeah, they got swept by the Mariners, didn't score a run.
Oh, man.
Unreal, man.
Brutal stuff.
Wow.
Unbelievable, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Baltimore. We got reinforcements coming.
We got Mets. We got a struggling Mets team that kind of got right against the Yankees a little bit. Hopefully that's not going to lead into this series this week. And then we got Miami, and then we head into the All-Star break. We're a week from the All-Star break, less than a week.
6 games.
6 games away, and then I looked at the schedule right after the All-Star break. Those 2 weeks right after the All-Star break are going to make or break us because we got Toronto twice, I think. Or Toronto twice, and I think the Athletics. It's people that are in front of us, obviously. And if we play well, I mean, we could play ourselves right back into the mix pretty quickly here. We've said that a couple times, but I mean, it's just kind of been lining up that we play people that are in front of us. These next 2 weeks or this next week isn't going to matter too much. It is, but it isn't because they're not like teams that are in front of us or teams ahead of us in the division. But if other teams keep winning and we lose and play bad during this little stretch here, it's going to mean a lot. But yeah, the 2 weeks after the All-Star break is Tampa Bay, Cleveland, Colorado, and Toronto. So 3 of the 4 teams are teams that are ahead of us in the wild card or in the standings. So can make up some ground there pretty quickly.
Yeah. Coming
if you play well.
Coming to town starting tonight, we have the Mets. Obviously, Juan Soto got off to a pretty slow start. That's kind of his MO, though. In his last 30 games, his OPS is over 1,100. He's got 10 homers. He's hitting .330. So he is back to the Juan Soto that we were used to seeing. Pete Alonso took that weird 1-year deal after having an offseason where he thought he was going to get paid and didn't really get the deal he was looking for. And he has responded by being one of the best, most consistent hitters in the National League. So watch out for him. I think he's got 20 homers and over a 900 OPS as well. And then obviously they have Lindor, who's just one of the most consistent dudes in the league, one of the best defensive shortstops in the league as well. And a couple more guys scattered throughout their lineup that could scare us. So just a little quick preview of what you could expect from the Mets. Those top 3 guys are absolute animals. So we'll see how the series shakes out. if we have success against them, I think we'll have success against the Mets, whose pitching staff is really, really struggling. So I would really hope that the bats for the Orioles can get hot, stay hot in this series.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
we
Holmes
play
tonight.
yeah, and then we play Miami, who went on a pretty nice win streak last week, but obviously not one of the better teams in the league. Kyle Stowers, by the way, All-Star game representative for the Miami Marlins. I believe he's the only one. He had a scorching hot start to the year and then cooled off, but good for him. We like to see former Orioles do well. And it doesn't look quite as bad now because his counterpart in the trade, Trevor Rogers, has been dealing. Brooks, what have you seen out of Trevor Rogers the last couple of weeks that makes you excited about his future as an O?
I mean, throwing freaking strikes, man. I mean, that's half the battle. I say it all the time. It's so much easier to pitch when it's 0-1 instead of 1-0. And he's throwing his breaking stuff over the plate too. So I know a lot of people on Twitter were talking about his velo was a little down the last start. He was still right around 93. So I'm okay with that. That's not a huge deal to me, and I don't think there's anything going on there. But yeah, I mean, he looks amazing. It's just one of those things where maybe we shouldn't be so quick to judge on trades all the time, and vice versa. Like we can't sit here and say like, "Oh, I told you so" now, because we said it on the last podcast that if he finishes out the rest of the year and pitches amazing and has a shitty year next year, then we're right back to where we were, right? And if Kyle Stowers and Norby work out down there, so it's something that both sides can't just sit there and say, "I told you so," quite yet. But let's just be happy that Trevor Rogers has found something. Let's be happy that Kyle Stowers is playing well, because there wasn't really an opening here. So it was the best case scenario. It seemed like the best case scenario for both teams, and looks like it is at the moment. So let's hope that it keeps continuing that way. And yeah, it's just I see other people saying that, like, well, yeah, but look, boy, we tried to pick him up to make a run last year, and he didn't do shit the second half, and we had to send him down. I get it, but I get it's one of those things where every trade's not going to work out right away, and every trade, it's just everything's different, man. It's you can't. There's no crystal ball to this stuff.
And also, I want to mention that the reason we traded for him and the reason we traded for a guy like Eflin last year is because we wanted cost-controlled pitchers that had years left on their contract. We didn't want one-year rental guys. This is how the organization works. They want cost-controlled assets that can go a couple of years into the future, and then you can move them if you need to. And I think that's the reason we traded for a guy like Trevor Rogers, as opposed to going all in for, the Tanner Scott of the world at the relief in the relief section last
What's
year.
he doing?
He had a really tough stretch for the Dodgers, but I think he's been getting better. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure what he's doing.
Looking it up now.
But anyway, yeah, I just think I think you have to understand that, and once again, we've said this multiple times on the podcast, especially over the course of the last couple of weeks. You can gut react to trades all you want. Like we gut reacted last week to the Minka Fitzpatrick and Jalen Ramsey trade in Pittsburgh. Really, time will tell how that trade's going to turn out. We don't know. Jalen Ramsey could, go Antonio Brown style and burn himself on a hot air balloon or something like that. I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. So
Tanner Scott is 1-2 on the year with a 3.76 ERA, 18 saves in 40 innings, 1.08 WHIP. So yeah, not bad.
Especially considering he had like a 2-week disastrous stretch. I think that's pretty much his normals, or his numbers are probably just about normal for the rest of the year, if I had to guess. I haven't looked into it, obviously, but anything.
I watched the Detroit Tigers game yesterday on my legal cable box, and I watched the Tigers feed. Kevin Brown and Ben McDonald they're a hit around Major League Baseball. They got referenced 3 times in a Detroit Tigers Tampa Bay Rays game.
Nice.
That's
And
awesome.
no sense
They're a great
whatsoever.
broadcast duo, man. They're great. They're entertaining as shit. Both of them are really good at their job, and they're both just fun.
They might be the most sought after Orioles right now.
Oh man, come on. Oh man, only one Orioles representative in the All-Star game this year, and it is Ryan O'Hearn, and he is the starting DH. A little unfortunate, but obviously based on the season we're having, I think it makes sense. You can make an argument that a couple other guys could have got in. It's unfortunate, and I think somebody mentioned this in our group chat. I don't know if it was Floyd or Drew, that O'Hearn's having like his coldest stretch of the year right now as we go into the All-Star break, which is super unfortunate. But the guy deserves every bit of what he's getting this year and that All-Star accolade. After he was DFA'd, I believe, by the Royals. I think he was kind of up and down for us before he found himself on our roster consistently. So just a good story for Ryan O'Hearn, and we're really happy that he's our representative.
It's hard to get guys in, more than one guy in, when you're a last place team. But I mean, there's still time. There's still time for guys to get in. And to be honest with you, Christ, let them fucking rest at this point. I don't want any semblance of anybody being able to get hurt or anything like that. Like, just go take a breather for a couple days.
I would have loved to see Gary in the home run derby if he didn't get hurt. That would have been sweet.
Yeah, who's in the derby? I know Cal Raleigh, and then
I know Buxton.
James Wood.
I think Buxton said he's in it. Yeah.
James Wood, Buxton. And
Acuna. Those are the only four that have committed so far. Ronald Acuna, which is kind of awesome. I would imagine
10 dudes, 12 dudes. I can't remember. 8. It's 8, 10, or 12.
It's usually 8.
Okay.
Usually 8. Unfortunately, it looks like Pete Alonso and Kyle Schwarber have both decided that they are going to skip this year's home run derby. Pete Alonso, that really sucks. That guy kills the home run derby. He's a 2-time winner. I think he won 2 straight. But yeah. Anyway, that's going to be awesome. Midsummer Classic is next week. Next week, we will be watching the Midsummer Classic. Where's the game this year? It's in Atlanta. Which is cool. New stadium there. I don't think they've had it since they got the new stadium in Atlanta. Last time the All-Star game was in Atlanta, I believe, was 99 Turner Field?
2000.
99 was Fenway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway. It's going to be awesome. We've got some familiar faces, obviously some new faces. Something I was looking at and wanted to point out, just on the National League side of things, just a couple of the pitchers that are really playing well. Obviously, we mentioned Paul Skeens, 4-7 with a 1.94 ERA and a 0.9 WHIP is just fucking ridiculous. The guy just scores some runs, guys. It's crazy. But I also wanted to mention Zach Wheeler, who over the course of the past 6 years has been probably the most consistent pitcher in the entire league. 2 second-place Cy Youngs, a 6th-place Cy Young, and then a year he didn't get any Cy Young votes, but he had a 2.82. I don't get that at all. But anyway, he's having one of his best seasons to date to start this year. He's got a 2.17. He's 9-3, and he leads the league in strikeouts. So a guy who's never gotten a Cy Young on his mantle, who probably has an argument to have one, is definitely having a season where he could warrant that award. So good for him. And then good for Clayton Kershaw, or is it good for Clayton Kershaw? We'll discuss this real quick. The commissioner, I guess, has there's a new commissioner's rule. Brian was telling us before the podcast that allows for a legend to be picked. Again, apparently it happened with Miguel Cabrera a couple years ago, but Clayton Kershaw, who just got his 3,000th strikeout and just kind of came off the injury grind, I think just maybe a month ago, is going to represent the National League as a pitcher in the All-Star game. Do we like this legend pick for the All-Star game? And if so, why do you like it? Why don't you like it? Brian, we'll go to you first and then Brooks.
Sure. I will. I have some information as to, some knowledge base into what this is. I hope it doesn't take away a slot from a player who could have become an all-star. I hope it's just like an extra player for the National League. If that is the case, cool, awesome. Totally get it, and it's kick ass. If it takes away from a guy who could be an all-star, might have an escalator in his contract and get more money because he could have been an all-star, then I'm not a fan of it. So I'm on that fence. I gotta read up more on it.
Brooks?
I agree with him. Yeah, if he's an extra guy that he's not taking anything away from anybody, I'm cool with it. But yeah, if he takes away from somebody who's earned it, that's kind of BS. Just because, I mean, that's like Brian said, and this stuff does matter for Hall of Fame votes. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Kershaw doesn't need it, right? But again, if this is an extra slot, like this is like a nod to like, hey, we're saying goodbye to a legend. I'm cool with it. We'll add him onto the roster.
Yeah, it is such a weird thing that people look at All-Star games, and like in football, like a Pro Bowl, that takes into consideration. I know, and the Pro Bowl is kind of a joke, but at least it takes into consideration the whole season. It's so weird that people think All-Star games matter when it's really just 82 games. It could be a guy who has a great first half every year and then sucks in the second half, and then you would never know. But it is just I always think it's interesting that people put a lot of stock into it. I'm more worried about the actual hardware, Gold Gloves, Silver Sluggers, MVP votes, that kind of stuff. As far as individual accolades go, I think that stuff is, for me, more important. But I mean, you can argue that however you want. Toronto Blue Jays, sitting on the top of our division, have won 9 straight games. They're 53-38, 15 games above 500. Good for the Toronto Blue Jays, who went out and made a splash with Anthony Santander this offseason, and he hasn't really hardly played, and they're still winning ball games. They spent $600 million, obviously, to keep Vlad in Toronto, hopefully for the rest of his career. I would assume if you're a Toronto Blue Jays fan, you want to see that. Just good for them. They're playing good ball. George Springer's having a really, really good season. There's a guy named Clement. I think his name's Ernie. He's hitting like 400 since the beginning of May. They're just getting production out of a lot of guys that they didn't expect to, and it's working out well. So good for Toronto. Unfortunate that it's happening in our division. Obviously, that the other 4 teams in our division all happen to be above 500. That's a little bit unnerving as an Oriole fan. That's hopeful that we can make a push, but we're gonna do the best we can, and I would imagine if we don't win the next 6 games going into the All-Star break, we're probably going to be looking at starting to deal some of these guys that are on the last year of their contracts, like we've said.
No, I don't think so.
I still think we're in sell mode until further notice. But
well, yeah, I mean, at this point, yes, but I mean, do we need to win the next 6? No. I think like I said, I think the 2-week stretch right after the All-Star break is going to be more telling. I mean, Christ, if we win the next 6, like you said, like I'm not expecting 2 sweeps. Baseball's hard. There's no way.
Yeah.
I'm expecting 2 series wins though. So if we win 4 of the next 6, I'd be happy. Anything above that would be great. And after that, like get some guys some rest. I don't think Adley's going to be back to closer to August, if I'm being honest. After the break, and if we come back and we come back hot out of the break and pick up some steam against some of these people who are in front of us and start leapfrogging some people pretty quickly, then that could change. But as our record sits today, we have to be sellers. I mean, I say sellers, but we can be sellers and buyers at the same time.
Yeah. So retooling, not necessarily sell the farm, but what do we have? Do we have any injury updates on Grayson, Eflin, Bradish? What's going on with those guys? Is Wells pitching? Has Alberto Suarez, is he still on the team? I'm not 100% sure what's going on with him, but you're usually the injury update guy, Brooks. So do you have any information that I don't
Grayson threw a 25 pitch bullpen last week. Let me get the latest. Grayson Rodriguez. I don't have a ton, but I mean, regardless, Bradish should be throwing live BP by now. They said beginning of July, so he's probably down in Florida throwing live BP. Wells is either down there or right behind him. Grayson, I know, threw a 25 pitch bullpen last week. Suarez, I think, just started throwing. But I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, I think that's all I got at the moment. Let me do a little research here for a second.
Okay. Other news around the league: the Colorado Rockies are 21-70. It's a staggering number to look at in a standings. Just a real bad team they are in Colorado. And former Oriole great Manny Machado has hit his 2000th career hit last night for the Scotty Padres. How about Manny Machado and the career he's had? I believe he just turned 33, or he's about to. I think he turned 33 maybe a day or two ago. If I'm not mistaken, I feel like I looked that up a couple weeks ago. But 2,000 hits, I believe he just turned 33. I mean, look, this is a guy who has a realistic chance of getting to 3,000, which is a number we're probably not going to see a lot of moving forward. What can we say about Manny and, just how consistent he's been? Brian?
Oh my God. I mean, he's been super consistent. There's mixed feelings about him in Baltimore, but good for him. He's still doing it at a high level. And it's interesting to see him come into a leadership role as he's gotten older with the Padres. Because a lot of, I didn't really see that happening, given a little bit of his track record when he was in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. So happy for him. And I'm not going to lie, it was kind of, given that you're not going to see this that much anymore, it was kind of like must-watch television when he would come up to bat. Mm-hmm. I can't remember who they were playing on Sunday Night Baseball, but I would every time he came up, I would stop and watch him hit. So I'm happy for him. It's great, and hopefully he does get to 3,000. But that's going to be another 6 years maybe.
Yeah. Well, I will say this: he's under contract with the Padres until 2033. So that's 8 more years under contract. I don't know if he'll last that whole contract, but Nick Boat asks, is he on a Hall of Fame track? Yes, he absolutely is on a Hall of Fame track. He is a 60 WAR player. There are guys in the Hall of Fame that have less than that already, or he has that already in his career. He's a 280 lifetime hitter. He's got 357 homers, 2,000 hits. I'm not saying if he retired tomorrow, he's a guaranteed Hall of Famer. He'd probably be a fringe guy at this point. But multiple Gold Gloves, Platinum Gloves, 6-time All-Star, multiple Silver Sluggers. Never won an MVP, but was close a few times. He has an MVP 4, MVP 5, MVP 3, MVP 2. So those are really, really great seasons. A top 5 MVP guy 4 different times throughout his career over the course of 12 years already. And once again, he's only 33 years old. So
the defensive numbers and the Gold Gloves, the Platinum Glove, plus the amount of hits he's had and is going to continue to have. Yeah. He has a legit chance at 3,000. It's going to come down to health. Yeah. And during that same broadcast when I was watching, I'm not trying to take away from Manny Machado. It's just a crazy stat. Tim Kurkjian said he was looking up players who got really close to 2,000 hits. Ian Kinsler. Guess how many hits he had?
I'm guessing 199, 1999.
1999.
Did he really? Yeah. That sucks, dude. That sucks. Oh, man. Can you imagine? Come on, Kinsler. You could have signed like a one-day contract with, I don't know, Texas or the Tigers or Red Sox, whoever he played for. He played for a lot of
teams. And Nick is right here. It's going to suck to see him going as a Padre.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it's gonna suck.
I think he has a legitimate chance to get 3,005 and 500, and be one of the few players that are able to do that anymore.
I mean, I think there's only 6 guys that have ever done that in the history of baseball in general. I think a couple of them played for the Orioles and Frank Robinson. Only 7 players in the history of baseball have ever done that.
And Eddie Murray.
Miguel Cabrera, Albert Pujols, and being the most recent, Alex Rodriguez, Rafael Palmeiro, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and Eddie Murray. That's it. That's all of them.
That's the list.
Absolutely crazy. If he reaches those numbers, that would be insane. You also have to remember only the 2 Gold Gloves. Since he's gone to San Diego, he has 0, and that's because Nolan Arenado was blocking him for quite a long time. Matt Chapman now in San Francisco is blocking him from that third base Gold Glove.
Yeah.
So this is a guy that definitely could have won more Gold Gloves. Just an unbelievable defensive player.
Well, and they've moved him back and forth at a shortstop as well with there for a little bit with Tatis getting hurt and moving him to the outfield and waiting to find another shortstop and blah blah blah. So he's kind of there's been a few seasons there where he hasn't played the full season at third base either.
Yeah. But also a really consistent guy as far as playing games goes. Obviously, in 2014, that injury was a dagger for the Orioles. But since then, he's only really had one season where he didn't play the full go. And honestly, no, he didn't, because that was the 2020 COVID year. He only played 60 games because there were only 60 games. So yeah, just a guy who plays a ton of games and is just super consistent. You know what you're going to get. Definitely a Hall of Fame type player. So giving flowers to Manny Machado. Congratulations on 2,000 hits. And we still love you in Baltimore. I know some people might not, but we still, the Gary Williams boys, we still love you, Manny.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
that we do. I got a couple
baseball,
couple updates I found.
Okay.
Suarez, he had an MRI. This is June 28th. MRI says he's about 80% healed. He's throwing from 90 feet. He was supposed to go to 105 feet the next week and then a mound in 3 weeks. So he should be right around that mound time right now. For Tyler Wells, Tyler Wells was Kyle Bradish was going down to Florida on Sunday. This was June 27th. So Bradish was going down to Florida on that Sunday to face live hitters. Tyler Wells was a week behind him, so they both should be down there at the moment. And Grayson threw a 25-pitch bullpen last week, so I was right on that. But that's the updates. So Wells and Bradish both down in Florida facing live hitters. Suarez is still in his throwing progression. He's probably starting to work into flat grounds here soon, if I had to guess. And off a mound. And Eflin, I don't have an update on it. He's probably still shut down.
So if you're going down to Florida and throwing 25-pitch bullpens or throwing to live hitters, say in the case of Wells and Bradish, what does that mean for your timetable coming back and facing actual MLB talent? Do you think they're going to be in the minors in a month? Do you think they're going to be in the minors in 2 months? Like where are we?
I think after the All-Star break, they're going to be in the minors.
Wells and Bradish
should be.
Okay, so we're thinking potentially, mid-August they're going to be, back with the O's.
That's the hopeful track.
Best case scenario.
I haven't heard a ton about Wells and how he's feeling, but everything I've seen on Bradish says like he feels amazing. So I even saw this was probably over a month ago, maybe even closer to 2 months ago, that he was throwing flat grounds or something, and he was throwing at like 90, 91. He was like, I feel great. So and that was just obviously a flat ground. That's not 100% or anything like that going at it. So things are trending. We'll see. It's also going to depend on where we're at when that time frame comes around, how fast they're going to be working back.
If we're still 10 games below 500 at that point, obviously they won't rush them back for no reason. I'm sure they'll come back at some point, but obviously they'll be a little bit more cautious, and that would make sense. One other baseball thing I wanted to note, because I completely forgot about it until I just read it on the MLB page. How about Dave Johnson and Rizzo getting fired in Washington? Yeah. What did you guys think about that? I thought that was really interesting and weird timing. What did you guys think?
I was shocked at the timing because the draft's coming up. They had the number one pick. So I'm wondering if the ownership went to them and was like, oh, so what are we thinking about for the number one pick here? And they were like, oh, here's all the stuff we have. They're like, cool, see ya.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. I just feel like they're not playing that. I mean, yeah, they're 15 games below 500, but their team is incredibly young, and they're playing in a really tough division with, Philly, New York, and Atlanta are legitimate World Series contenders. I know Atlanta obviously struggling, but those are really, really good teams. I don't know. And James Wood is obviously, is working out as well as you could have hoped. Yeah. Abrams, if you keep him off the freaking blackjack tables, is great. I mean, I don't really know what's going on.
Is that his MO? Gambler?
Yeah.
Like, he got sent down last year because he missed like a
He
team
got
meeting or something because
at home. Yeah.
he was on a blackjack
That's
table
right.
for like 24 straight hours or something like that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Apparently, he like after the game went to the casino and then stayed there the entire night and came straight to the facility from there and was late.
Yeah.
I'm
Can't
sure
leave
he
a heater,
didn't
you know?
When you're on a heater, you're on a heater. I get it. But
Yeah. You don't talk about a heater. All right.
But I mean, I'm not surprised about like the manager going, but I mean Rizzo by all accounts has been pretty good.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe it was something that like what Brian said, but I mean, you look at recent. Obviously, they've won a World Series recently. The Soto trade's working out phenomenally for them.
Great.
Yeah.
And
So
look, I mean, Rizzo signed Strasburg to a pretty decent team deal. And look, I mean, the guy ended up having nerve damage in his arm or his hand, and then he would be their ace or maybe their second or third starter right now, and that would obviously be of assistance. So he got screwed there. But I mean, other than that, Rizzo's done a great job. I don't want to speak to Dave Martinez, so I'm not watching every Nationals game on a regular basis. But that is it's odd timing, especially when you have the draft.
That's
Normally,
the thing. That's the thing that struck me the most was the timing. I just think it's so weird to do it right now in the middle of the season, right before the draft. I just like you said, you took the words out of my mouth. I just think it's so weird.
yeah, Rizzo's going to get rehired very fast, I think.
Yeah. He'll be in a front office helping somebody by the end of the season.
I think maybe by the end of the All-Star break.
Maybe he'll coach the All-Star team.
He'll be that consultant. I do like that they have these honorary coaches or these honorary managers. I think Joe Torre is a manager for the All-Star game this year.
Oh, really?
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Joe in a while. How's he looking these days?
I don't know. I haven't seen him either. Not like I'm going over his house for a barbecue, but
I haven't seen him in a long time. I don't know what he looks like these days.
I'll look it up. They have two honorary managers, and they might be on the same dugout.
Anyway, yeah, that's all I had for baseball stuff. But we got through a lot of it, and it's All-Star break is coming up, so good sweep for the O's. We love the O's playing well on the road. Apparently, it's the first time we swept Atlanta in Atlanta since 1999. I saw that on Pigtown's Twitter account. Shout out to Pigtown Sports if you guys haven't seen him. Go check out his stuff. He's really well versed, and he is a frequent listener of this podcast, and we appreciate him for that.
Can we talk about? I want to talk about this.
Okay.
I want to talk about this. Let me see if I can pull this up relatively quickly.
Reader swings at the first one, and it is off of himself. No, it's not. That was a great heads-up play there. Oh, my goodness. I have never seen that on the baseball field. Ethan Surowick picked up the baseball purposefully, gave himself up, and allows, for the moment.
So, basically, if you're not watching and you're listening, basically it's bases loaded, guy hitting. It's a routine ground ball to the shortstop, and the guy on second literally just stands there and basically fields the ball like the shortstop. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he gets called out for interference and the ball hitting him. He literally fields it, picks it up, throws it back to the pitcher, and runs off the field. And obviously, the play's dead at that point. Mm-hmm. And basically saves a double play that would end the inning. Yep. I mean, the baseball IQ on that is through the roof. I'm actually kind of surprised that there's no rule in place that doesn't make it an automatic double play. But you can't assume a double play.
I think it's
that's the hard thing. It's like, do you stick with you can't assume a double play rule or analogy, or do you go with that's an automatic double play if you do stuff like that?
Honestly, dude, I said this to you guys and I was blown away. I was watching this in bed. I had just woken up and I was looking at this and I had to watch it like 3 times. Like, holy shit, I've been watching baseball for 30 years. I've never seen anybody do that. That's so goddamn smart. He keeps the inning alive. The guy from third doesn't get home, so it's still bases loaded. But I mean, you lose the out instead of 2 outs and the inning's over. I thought it was absolutely genius. I guarantee you the coach has been in practice telling the players about this forever, this situation. And he was just sitting there like hoping that the guy hit a ground ball to the shortstop just so he could see it. But I think it's completely genius. I've never seen anything like it. And I think that teams are going to start doing it. And if they don't, and if they do, I think there'll probably be a rule put in similar to the infield flag. Right?
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think you're right, Dust. But it's also hard because that's gonna change like scoring on certain stuff as well. Like the whole you can't assume a double play. Like that's gonna change that a lot.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see what's gonna happen here. If it becomes more of a thing, I guarantee you it is gonna change the rule. If it doesn't, then we might just see status quo. But I just thought the baseball IQ for him to do that was through the roof, and I love that. To be honest with you.
Wow, Dusty, I'm actually speechless. I've never even thought about that. And as a former coach, and as obviously we all played, holy shit! Why have we never thought of that?
It's great. I love it.
Yeah, we used to go over some weird stuff with Coach Ford in high school. Some weird situational stuff that ended up working in our favor every once in a while, but nothing like this. I saw this and I was about to get to this, but Joe brought it up. What Manny did last week with Acuna. Basically, what happened was, if you guys didn't see it, there was an infield fly pop up to Manny that he basically let drop and took the out at second. To basically switch the players to make us to have a slower player.
I saw it was with Ellie De La Cruz.
Yeah, so he wanted to have the slower guy on base. Which was genius.
First base. Yeah.
Yep.
Which why would you?
Exactly. But I mean, just a great IQ play. That shows that you're thinking about what's going on before the plays hit.
100%.
And that's what you love.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, having the wherewithal to do that, and also to remember in the moment, because I mean, look, you got a lot going on. You know, and it's baseball players. It's a chess game. It's a game within a game. It's chess. It reminded me of a situation when I was coaching at St. Paul's, and I can't remember the exact scenario, but there was a kid on third base, and the guy who hit the ball, he hits first base, and we were playing in McDonough, and the kid who hit the ball ran directly into right center field. So we had the ball, play still live, even though the kid's out of the baseline. Like it's just in the high school baseball rules, or I guess baseball rules in general. The kid ran into right center field. And we had to go tag him out. And I was like, do not run out there. Do not. Because that kid from third is immediately going to try to score. And I remember that. And I'm thinking, like, how the fuck is this a goddamn rule? Or this isn't a rule where this kid is already called out? Because he was basically standing next to the right fielder. And I'm like, do not run out there. I can't remember who had the ball. But I turned on, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? Did his right side of his brain just shut off? And he can't
No, but I've seen stupid stuff like that happen all the time where, I mean, it's stuff that we used to practice against defensively, actually, in high school, where you would be like, all right, here's like situations that can happen, and basically teaching you not to panic. Like, hey, don't panic and go run after him. Just stand there. Like it's something as simple as as stupid as a man on first, a man on third, and the guy steals second and gets caught up in a rundown, which I saw recently this year in the major leagues. And I think it was an Orioles game. I've seen major leaguers do it wrong. And it's just something that you have to think through. And if you haven't practiced it or seen it, it might be something that you kind of panic on a little bit and make a stupid throw or whatever. So it's really good to see when people actually think through the situation that's at hand before the play takes place.
And I think Brooks is right. I mean, Dusty, I agree with you. There should be a rule against this. I'm I'm all in on there being a rule against this. But what Brooks said is correct. You can't assume a double play, and you can't triple stamp a double stamp. All right, so there are things we know.
Can't do it. Won't do it.
Look, if the guy could at least play it off as if he could have played it off I accidentally got hit. Instead, he decided to field the ball like he was a shortstop and just tossed it to the pitcher. Yeah.
At least hit you.
Oh, that's that's what it's going to turn into. Is they're going to start trying to time it up and just let it hit his foot or something.
Yeah. Just like leaning into a pitch. It's the same, same concept. But anyway.
Are we done with baseball? Or
I think we've gone an hour on baseball. I think we're pretty much good.
Did you guys get a chance to watch the hot dog eating contest? If we're talking about amazing athletes, I mean, we need to talk about Joey Chestnut.
I'll say this, and I say it every year, and I know it doesn't matter for Joey Chestnut because he's a gamer and he wants to eat as many hot dogs as he wants to, no matter what. But it's got to be like when you finish and you had 70 and a half hot dogs or whatever you ate, and then you look at the scoreboard and realize that the guy in second only ate like 46 hot dogs. He could have stopped eating like 5 minutes left in the competition. That's what I always say. I'm like, dude, put the scoreboard in front of him. He could just stop. He could just sit there, put mustard on his hot dog, chill for a little while. He's
what
good.
If he's got toppings? He's putting toppings. He's putting on. He's got sauerkraut. He's eating potato salad on the side.
I saw that the field. I don't know what Joey Chestnut's number was. He was minus like 6,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
The field was 25 to 1 to win. Anybody else besides Joey Chestnut was 25 to 1.
He's going for he's literally trying for a world record every single time.
It's crazy. That guy is an animal, and he gets hammered after the contest, which I love.
Yeah, Dell and I turned it on after they were done eating, so we were a little bummed, but they hadn't awarded him the belt yet. And Dell's like, "Oh, this thing's got to be happening pretty soon." Because they still have hot dogs stacked all over the table, so it looks like it might have just started. Dell's like, "Oh, this thing hasn't started. He looks way too clean. He looked like he didn't do anything. He ate 70 and a half hot dogs
in 10 minutes."
Have you seen him put down beer? Like he chugs beer like an animal as well.
Did you see the guy chugging lemonades? The guy at the Badlands, he chugged a gallon of lemonade in 20 seconds. It was unbelievable.
Speaking of chugging, I came across a video on my phone that I can't get to. I can't edit it properly, but it's a video of Dusty chugging a pitcher of beer in under 10 seconds. So you got that going for you, Dust. Yeah,
I did that. I don't remember that.
I'll send it. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you.
I will say I had a lot of training with that. My freshman year of college, we would go over to this liquor store called the Barn. Yeah. And we all had fake IDs. So we would go over there. We're well past this at this point, but that place in particular had a drive-through, and they didn't care that we had fake IDs. They just wanted our business. Anyway, we would go in there, and their deal was, it was either $12 or $15 for a 30-pack of Natural Light, Natty Boh, or PBR. But the Natty Lights were 25-ounce pounders. So it was a 15-pack of the 25-ounce pounders. And we would just get those all the time. So we would go over there, get like 10, 15 packs of these pounders, whatever. 10, we called them 30s, but they're obviously 15-ounce or 15 packs of the bigger beers. And that freshman year, I mean, every person that I could get to shotgun one of those with me, I did. And I just got really good at drinking a lot of beer and really quickly. So
when you were in college, because I had already graduated when you went to college, by the time you went to college, were you in that like age range where the liquor stores had those like Natural Light like kegs, but they were all made of cans?
That happened, I think, my junior year of college, but we never got any of them.
That thing looked crazy.
Yeah, like I think it was like a special thing. I don't think it was like every.
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, I had a name. It had like a catchy name.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing it. I can't remember. Maybe we went to a Maryland game or something. We went up to like Town Hall or whatever. What about liquor stores attached to Town Hall? And like they had them. And I'm like, what the fuck is that?
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Town Hall is gone. That was a staple at College Park. We used to go over there all the time.
I'm gonna give a quick shout out to my boy Tyler. My boy Tyler works at Canton Corner Barber. He's first time watching. He's shooting me a text right now. So anybody here in the Canton area needs to get a haircut, my guy Tyler works at Canton Corner Barber. I believe it's on Hudson Street. It's right near Lee's Pint and Shell. Go in and see those guys. They have a good time hanging out. And it's actually going to lead me into the next thing I want to say. And it's this really freaking sucks part of the week. I got plantar fasciitis for the first time in my life on my right foot.
Oh my God, the LeBron injury.
I am limping around like a fucking wounded deer.
Can you imagine trying to being an offensive lineman and trying to play through that?
No, I don't even. I could barely bartend in it. I was walking around like I had one, like I got shot, and Tyler was nice enough to actually buy me, or him and his roommate bought me one of those like plantar fasciitis wraps. So I've been staying off my feet the last couple of days. Hence why I've been watching all this television and talking about shows and Trainwreck. And the new quarterback series came out today on Netflix. So thank you, Tyler, and go see guys at Canton Corner Barber. They do a great job.
You're gonna be walking around with a peg leg by the end of this.
Oh man, it hurts like hell.
Oh man.
And I have a great pain tolerance. I'm not a baby when it comes to pain, but every single step you take feels like you're getting hit with a pickaxe.
There's a couple of things like that have happened in my life. I feel like I have a high tolerance for pain, but I remember a couple times I've had ear infections. Those are just like, I mean, it's unbearable.
I've never had one. Tell me if I'm right. If I remember my mother used to get them when I was a kid, and she would only eat applesauce because you can't chew.
You can't like open every time you open your mouth. It's just like excruciating. Yeah, it's bad. It sucks. I've had sinus problems my whole life, and that's been part of it. And also I've had a broken nose for most of my life that I never got fixed, so that doesn't help either.
Fair enough.
As far as football goes, I don't want to talk much football. Nothing really happened. I think the top headline on ESPN, which I thought was hilarious, and I want to bring it up, is Cousins felt misled after Falcons drafted Penix. Yeah, no shit. Just think that's funny that's the headline on ESPN for the NFL right now.
They need something to talk about.
Anything to talk about, yeah.
Anything. Now, I did watch the quarterback series. I think it's really well done. And Peyton Manning, anything Peyton Manning does, media-wise, is usually,
it's Omaha Productions, right?
Yeah, is usually stellar. So it focuses on Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins, and oh God, I'm blanking. And Jared Goff. And Jared Goff it's pretty awesome. He gets a little emotional when he's talking about the trade from the Rams to the Lions. He has the utmost respect for the Rams, but he does talk about the maturity of how the situation was handled. And then we're looking forward. I don't know if you can watch all of them yet. I only watched episode 1, but it says something. Like one of them is about Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow says that he was comfortable talking to Peyton Manning about the robbery or the burglary of his house.
Yeah.
And how it I haven't seen this episode yet. I just read the article that it delayed him getting his $3 million Batmobile replica.
Yeah. They made like 10 or 12 of the Batmobiles from the Dark Knight trilogy. They made the actual thing, and Joe Burrow bought one of them, which I think is hilarious. But also awesome. I probably, if I had that much money, I'd probably buy that too.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, anyway, otherwise, I mean, there was a couple things that happened in basketball, but it's free agency, it's off season. The golf tournament was really fun to watch this past weekend. I know it wasn't a ton of top dogs in it, outside of our boy Max Homa, who had a really, really good week, resurgent week, finished in the top 5, was in competition to win the tournament the whole day on Sunday, but just couldn't get the putter going. And we're in a really good stretch of golf right now. Again, we've got the Scottish Open this week, which is one of my favorite tournaments of the year, and it's followed by the British Open at Royal Portrush. I believe the last time that the British Open was at Royal Portrush, Shane Lowry won the Claret Jug.
Yes.
So look out for Shane Lowry, who's been having a really great season, but just can't seem to get on top of the leaderboard, so to speak. So
if I remember, like one of the coolest segments of the Open, I still call it the British Open. The Open Championship,
yeah.
Is Royal Portrush has this like shack that has some massive significance, like historical significance, and now they run like a bunch of golf stuff out of it. And I just remember that I was glued to the television to watch this, and it's just like this old shanty, but it's like the most sought after shanty in Ireland.
Royal Portrush currently closed, by the way. So that means that's because of the golf tournament.
How long do you think they close these courses now before majors?
I think it depends on the course. I'm not 100% sure. I think a couple weeks. Like in the case of like Oakmont and the Masters and those kind of courses, I think a couple weeks but they also let, like, especially now with like the YouTube golfers getting big, they let those guys go in and play, and they rope off certain areas of the course where they can't hit from, and certain tee boxes to keep them pristine for the players. But I think they've been doing a lot more of that recently, and I'm sure before that it was a lot of sponsors, and a lot of like higher up executives were able to go play the course a couple days beforehand and stuff like that. But as far as open to the public, I would imagine at least a few weeks just to get it, the way they want to get it. But yeah, it's going to be a really, really fun. It should be a really, really fun tournament or a couple weeks in golf. Like I said, the Scottish Open at the Renaissance Club, which was won last year by Robert McIntyre. And the year before that, Robert McIntyre came in second in this tournament. You can get Robert McIntyre to win this tournament at 30-1. Like I said, in the last 2 years, he's come in second and first. And it's his home country. And he's left-handed, which is a great segue into our draft this week. Fun fact, Roger McNuggs is left-handed.
Is that right? It does look like he has hands. So that's very interesting.
I got to change my name to somebody who's left-handed. I didn't even think about it.
True. Need to change my.
Anyway, this week's draft is going to be best left-handed athletes of all time. It's going to be really fun. We're going to do any athlete, any sport, any time period, whatever.
Is fighting involved?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't care if you want to pick a southpaw. No Rocky Balboa. He's fictional. But, real athletes only, even though there's a statue of him in Philly. But, yeah, anyway, we're going to do best left-handed athletes. It's going to get controversial, I would assume.
Yeah.
But, we'll see.
Yep. You ever been to that statue?
To the Rocky statue?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I've only been to Philly a couple times, and it's been for like concerts and stuff, so it was never like a touristy.
I got you.
Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been there maybe 2 dozen times.
Yeah.
Blast, man. Really, really good time. I did a pizza review at the place that Dave Portnoy went when he went to Philly. It's called like Angelinos or something.
Oh, yeah. How was it? Was it good?
It was awesome. It was really good. I mean, I'm not kidding. We thought there was going to be a massive line outside. It wasn't. It was actually like a dreary, rainy day. And Kirsten and I went there, and we went in. And this place is very simplistic. You walk in, you get pepperoni or cheese. That's it. Cash only. They say it's going to be 5 minutes. And then we got one. We got two. One for the ride home, one for right there. Yeah. We did the pizza review. It was pretty cool. It was very tasty. I'm just like Portnoy. I don't like any flop or anything. I want a good undercarriage.
Crispy.
I want crispy. Yeah.
I mean, he says it all the time in the pizza reviews. If I watch a lot of them, but if you, if you go into a place and it's cash only and they got like 2 things on the menu, that place is fucking good.
Yeah.
Those 2 things are fucking good if that place is open and it's cash only. You know what I mean? Especially this day and age, people trying to pay with Apple Pay every fucking where.
And it's funny. There's like 2 old guys like sitting out on there. These guys, they came with the bricks. They probably got off the Titanic, and they were like, "How was the pizza? How was the review?" I was like 8.4, and I just made that up on the fly, but it was really good, really fucking tasty pizza.
Oh, yeah.
But also, that was the same trip I went up there because my favorite cheesesteak up in Philadelphia is Jim's Steaks on South Street, and I didn't know that it burned down.
Oh, wow!
I was a little bummed.
Yeah.
It's since been rebuilt.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the only like really, really good Philly cheesesteak I ever had in Philly was at a place called John's Roast Pork. Which
yes, delicious.
Really good.
That's
that's a real small little shack. But anyway, we're gonna get into our draft here of best left-handed athletes of all time. What are the results from last week, Brooks? Do you have that?
Brian, Dusty, me.
Oh, good for Brian. The Brian wins one.
Woo!
Best place for a beer draft. Best time for a beer, best place for a beer. Yeah, that was a fun one, and we're gonna go best lefties here. So
post our lineups for the '90s today.
Oh, okay, we got to do that. Did you ever make it up, Brian? Because I don't think
What's that?
both of you guys needed to make a lineup. Me and Drew made our lineups.
Oh no! You want them
Just
1 through 9?
Put them in a batting order. Yeah,
I got
it's
you.
gonna
You
be
need the batting
5
order.
minutes. Yeah.
All right, I got you. No problem. I must have breezed right past it.
No,
in our
that's
group
okay.
chat. But you just said something that I heard. I didn't hear beer. Maybe we could do for our draft on Tuesdays best beards in baseball or best beards in sports.
Ooh, best facial hair. Can we do
best
does it have to be beard? Because like the Raleigh Fingers mustache has got to be on there.
No, it's gonna be like a 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So maybe best facial hair in sports. We could do that for our next draft if you guys want to. Because I know we're always searching for topics.
I got Wade Boggs came to mind immediately. I've got a lot of guys in mind.
What was the guy from? Was it Brian Wilson from the Giants?
He used to put like shoe polish in his beard so it was jet black. Yeah. Brian Wilson, R.I.P. By the way, the Beach Boys Brian Wilson who died last 2 weeks ago.
I was like, did the pitcher die? Shit.
No. I did see R.I.P. by the way. Bobby Jenks passed away. Closer White Sox and Red Sox when we were growing up, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Really, yeah. He was only 44 years old. He had stomach cancer. I couldn't believe that. I saw his name and I was like, I thought it was a mistake. But anyway,
and ESPN did him dirty and was basically like he was on the roster for the 2005 White Sox World Series. Like, no, he was like the most pivotal part. Like, he was their closer.
Mm-hmm.
He was their best reliever throughout that entire playoff.
Yeah, that team was good, man. The White Sox have really fallen off a cliff since then. Yeah. But anyway, we're gonna go into best left-handed athletes. Brian, you get the first choice. Which pick would you like?
All right, so I'm going to go the wraparound. So I'll take the third pick.
You're taking the third pick. I get second choice here.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a clear-cut number 1? Yeah, I think there is. I'll take number 1. I don't ever want to be number 2, pretty much. And then Brooks will pick second. So I get the 1-1 here. And
I'm already taking them off my list.
Yeah, I feel like you got to take Wayne Gretzky here. He's the best hockey player by a country mile of all time. So I'm going to take Wayne Gretzky, and I wanted to take a baseball guy, but I can't skip over the great one. So yeah, that's going to be my guy. Brooks.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta go with the Baltimore boy, Babe Ruth.
Yeah, George Herman Ruth, the great.
You know what I learned yesterday or this weekend actually, and I even checked to see if this is correct or not. I'm just assuming that he knew this based on him saying it right when he met me, because he knew I was from Baltimore. Apparently, Al Kaline was born in Baltimore.
Yeah, he was.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually did know that. That is true. I don't know where, and I don't know if he grew up in Baltimore, but I know he was born in Baltimore. I'll look into that a little bit. Brian, you get a wraparound here. Babe Ruth and Wayne Gretzky, are off.
I'm going to take 2 baseball guys. I got to go with Ken Griffey Jr.
Got it. Yeah,
and I got to go. And I got to go with Barry Bonds.
Yeah, that's brutal. Those were hopefuls for me coming back, but I guess that was kind of a pipe dream here. Barry Bonds and Ken Griffey Jr. Yeah, definitely 2 of the best left-handed hitters in the history of ever. Brooks,
history of ever.
What do we got here?
I gotta go with, I guess, the best soccer player of all time, Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi. Yeah.
We said left-handed, not left-footed.
Yeah, lefty. You said lefty.
Lefty draft. It's the lefty draft. You can take whoever you want. That's fine.
Don't take Mike Weir. Mike Weir. Got 1 major.
He's got a Canadian flag next to his name.
Yeah, I knew it.
All right. I'm gonna go back a little bit. I'm gonna go with this guy has 11 championships. Give me Bill Russell. Some as player, some as coach. 1 as player coach, I believe. And then I am going to take one of the most dominant pitchers from my childhood and take the big unit, Randy Johnson, here at number 3.
Yep.
So Wayne Gretzky, Bill Russell, and Randy Johnson so far. Brooks, who's joining Babe Ruth and Lionel Messi on Team Brooks for the lefties?
Let me, man. Yeah, I guess, let me go ahead and get, you took Bill. Give me Steve Young.
Steve Young is the next guy on my list as well. The top 8 guys on my list have all been drafted. So we were all thinking the same thing here. Steve Young, obviously Super Bowl champion, got that monkey off his back.
Apparently Al Kaline grew up in Fells Point.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Hell yeah. Walking the same bricks we walk on, baby. Love that.
Babe Ruth and Al Kaline, 2 of the best baseball players of all time, grew up within a mile of each other. Maybe 2 miles of each other.
That is pretty nuts.
Something in the water.
Yeah. Something in that harbor. Brian, you get 2 picks here. What do you like?
I'm going to go with one of the best tennis players of all time, Mr. Rafael Nadal.
Who's the next guy on my list? This is ridiculous. It's just running down my list.
And then I'm going to take, oh, man. All right, look, controversial, but man, he was my cheat character in NFL and NFL 2K. Give me Mike Vick, man. You got to give me Mike Vick. Dude.
Vick.
He was electric, even at Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Virginia Tech, Falcons, Eagles, Renaissance that season. God,
it is one of the few college football games I remember when I was in like high school.
Mm-hmm.
And like the Jared Zabransky, Boise State versus Oklahoma, the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah,
Boise State beating Oklahoma.
Man. Yeah, Michael Vick. Wow, I didn't know if he was going to get taken or not. He's definitely on my list, but wasn't the next guy. So interesting pick there. Loved it. Brooks, who's the next pick for you?
I gotta go with Ted Williams here.
All right, Teddy Ballgame, probably one of the best hitters of all time. I like that pick for Brooks as well. I get 2 in a row to finish here, and I have to, absolutely have to take this for the guy to my right on the screen. Give me Tony Gwynn at number 4 as the resident Tony Gwynn hater. You're going to love that. Mr. Brian.
I thought you wouldn't do me wrong 2 weeks in a row, man. That's why I was waiting for my last pick. You're a dick. It's because I hate Canada and you hate Tony Gwynn. We got to go back and forth all the time.
So very tempted to take the hefty lefty Jared Lorenzen, but I'm not going to. With my last pick, I'm not going to do that.
You're a dirt dog, man. You took Tony Gwynn 2 weeks in a row.
I'm going to take this guy, despite the fact that I don't love most of his behavior over the past few years, but I'm going to take Phil Mickelson. There's no denying his impact on the golf community, and he's definitely the best left-handed golfer of all time. So I'm going to take Phil at my number 5 spot there.
Damn.
It still boggles my mind that a left-hander has never won the U.S. Open. It's crazy to think.
Phil came in second in the U.S. Open 6 times. Crazy. And he had a one-shot lead in one of them on the 18th hole.
The 18th hole. That paid black.
Damn. I was going to go with the lefty as well.
Well, they're all lefties.
Well, no shit. Man. All right, you know what? Give me Steve Carlton, since we just had another lefty pass over the 3,000 strikeout club.
There we go. I don't dislike that at all. Steve Carlton, one of the best left-handed pitchers of all time. Brian, taking Mike Weir or what?
Got to.
No.
There's definitely some guys still on this list.
All right, I got to take Stan the Man Musial.
Wow. All right. Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
Yeah.
And Brooks' underrated draft, he took him very highly, I believe.
Stand the Man Musial. Man could play lead harmonica, and he was known as a really, really good guy. So I'm going to go with that. I was contemplating taking a couple fighters, and they're like some of the Pacquiao, Ronda Rousey.
She's left-handed?
Yeah, Conor
I knew McGregor.
Yeah, I was gonna say McGregor's technically lefty too. I
McGregor.
think.
and
McGregor was
Anderson Silva, all lefties.
I didn't know. I didn't know. So
Now they switch up their styles, so he might have
Yeah.
come out, but maybe switch southpaw later. But they're all lefties.
When I hear Anderson Silva, the only thing I can think about is that leg breaking.
I know.
Just the only thing I can think about. It's like the most
Remember where I
disgusting
was.
video.
I remember where I was.
Oh man. Some guys we didn't pick. I'll go through my top 3, and then you guys can pick some others. Clayton Kershaw just got to 3,000 strikeouts. Ichiro, left-handed hitter, and the Admiral, Navy guy, David Robinson, left-handed. You guys have any other guys you want to mention, left-handers? Guys,
I kind of gave a couple there a minute ago. Marvelous Marvin Hagler was also a lefty.
Who?
Marvin Hagler, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, big-time boxer.
Boxer back in the day,
Yeah.
Oh.
Hagler Hearns is one of the best. Like people talk about it, want to be in one of the top 3 fights of all time. Hagler Hearns. Anyway, you guys took all my other honorable mentions, and I've given all mine as well. So Brooks, you got it.
Yeah, Sandy Koufax. I see. James Fackett just put that in here. Lou Gehrig as well.
I forgot he was lefty.
I didn't know this. Bobby Orr was left-handed apparently.
I didn't know that.
So did not know that. Manu Ginobili, I think is probably one of the better lefties in the NBA as well.
Ben Simmons, no, he's terrible. He can't shoot.
Warren Spahn.
Ugh.
Well,
That's an old school name.
was Tom Seaver left-handed?
Nah, he's right-handed.
Right-handed.
Lennox Lewis, left-handed. Are we sure? Not sure.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Tim Tebow, probably one of the best college football players of all time. Tim Tebow.
Don't get me
former
Lou
Mets
Brock?
right fielder. Lou Brock is a great answer.
Before we started this podcast, I can't remember where we were, Brooks, but I thought your head was going to pop off your body when you were talking about Tim Tebow playing for the Mets. And your face, because normally your face just gets red when you drink. It was getting red just talking about it, and none of us were arguing with you. We were like, oh my God. Like, oh my God.
Oh, man. Gil Sayers, apparently left-handed. Wouldn't have known that. Boomer Esiason's on this list of stuff I'm looking at here. I'm surprised.
Get him out of here.
Surprised Brooks didn't mention his favorite from one of his favorites from when we were younger, Mark Brunell.
Barry Zito.
No, Mark Brunell, Barry Zito, Tom Glavine, Andy Pettit, Tiny Archibald. There's definitely a lot of guys we could have said.
Jamie Moyer.
Wow. Definitely not a name I thought I was going to hear. Johnny McEnroe.
I didn't know Johnny Mac.
Deeds is playing with Johnny McEnroe. Wade Boggs, left-handed hitter. Anyway, that is our list of lefties. Let us know who we missed, and obviously we will post this snake draft as we always do, so you guys can vote on it. I'm
sure there's a lot.
I'll run down the teams as they were taken. My team: Wayne Gretzky, Bill Russell, Randy Johnson, Tony Gwynn, and Phil Mickelson. Brooks's team: Babe Ruth, Lionel Messi, Steve Young, Ted Williams, and Steve Carlton. Brian's team: Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds, Rafa Nadal, Michael Vick, and Stan the Man Musial. Some
Brian might win again.
Loaded teams in this crew here.
These are loaded.
But yeah, that was a really fun draft. I like those.
That was good. Brooks, good call on that one. That was tasty. That was tasty. Maybe we do facial hair next week.
Tasty little treat.
Yeah,
tasty little treat.
We couldn't do best righties because that's like 95% of athletes.
Yeah.
Hey, who were the best athletes ever? We already did.
I was hoping Pete Weber, the bowler, was left-handed because I would have taken him.
Oh, that would have been awesome. I still think Jared Lorenzen should have went.
Jared Lorenzen was. I really thought about it. I really did. It was either Jared Lorenzen or Phil Mickelson, and I just thought Phil Mickelson just did a little bit more for lefties. Just a little bit.
So good.
Ty Cobb and Shoeless Joe Jackson. Yeah, that's a long time ago. Some guys from a long time ago. But, anyway, I'm gonna see if I can go to the baseball game tonight to get the Hawaiian shirt. We'll see how it goes. It's Hawaiian shirt night tonight, huh?
Yeah, they're doing it twice. I think it's both this week, today and Thursday. I think
They're doing it twice because there was so much clamor for them last time when they ran out.
Yeah, if not, I'm just going to text my buddies that work for the Oriole Advocates. If I can't go tonight, be like, just put 2 to the side for me, please.
Yeah.
So.
And you got to wear it on the podcast Thursday.
Oh yeah, I'm wearing it on Thursday.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, I might not even go because of my foot. I'm trying to stay off it as best I can. I've been just laying up. Like it's making my ankle. But the worst part is I'm walking weird on it, so now I'm like cockeyed when I walk. And now
I feel like there was a time that Brian was probably talking shit about somebody with plantar fasciitis and not playing.
And now
there had to be a time.
What's the most athletic thing you think you could do right now? Shuffleboard?
Backgammon. Yeah.
Backgammon? that requires almost no athleticism. I would say that's like a 1 out of 100
that's
on the athletics
board game. That's a card/board game, I guess, right?
Crossfire, maybe I could do that.
Anything stationary.
Yeah. Most
That'd be real
right now would be
shuffleboard.
Yeah, probably shuffleboard.
But
I could do bocce ball. There you go. I can do bocce ball. I can just press off.
Still gotta walk. Gotta walk a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta walk.
I'll have my partner go get the ball.
He couldn't do mini golf. That's too much exercise.
Yeah.
Anyway,
18 holes. 18 holes, man.
Unless you guys have anything else, I think this would be a good point to wrap up today's show. Thank you guys once again very much for joining us today, Tuesday, July 8th. I hope you guys had a great 4th of July weekend, guys and ladies. Sorry, Laura, I always just say guys.
Yeah.
We'll be more inclusive here as we can. But yeah, thank you all for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. It really helps. Vote on the polls. It's a lot more fun when more people vote, as opposed to, sometimes we only have like 10 or 15 votes and we don't get a real sample size. So yeah.
And definitely subscribe. We're on the hunt for 2,000 subscribers, and if we get there, I think there might be a wild Ryan Ripken joining the Power Hour that we're gonna do.
Oh, a wild Ryan Ripken appears
in the wild.
And then I just want to give a thanks to Antonio and Ross that came in the other over the weekend, and that's why I have the tickets I have to today and tomorrow's game. Gave the tickets to tomorrow's game away already, but wanted to go to the game today to get the Hawaiian shirt. So thank you to Antonio and to Russ. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Guys, thank you for listening. Once again, like, comment, subscribe, and outros are weird. We will see you on Thursday with our 2000s MLB draft.
Yeah.
Oh, God, something just popped.